It was February 1992, and Kurt Cobain was sitting on the bathroom floor of a hotel room in Los Angeles, staring at a plastic stick that had just changed his entire life. Courtney Love was on the other side of the door, waiting. They'd been together for 4 months, married for exactly 3 weeks. And now this little white stick with its 2 pink lines was telling them they were going to be parents. Kurt's hands were shaking so badly he almost dropped it. "Kurt?" Courtney's voice came through the door. "What does it say?" He couldn't answer. His throat had closed up completely. All he could do was stare at those 2 pink lines and feel his entire world tilt sideways. The bathroom floor was cold tile. Kurt pressed his back against the bathtub and tried to breathe, but his chest felt like someone had wrapped it in barbed wire. "Kurt, you're scaring me." Courtney's voice again. "Just tell me, is it positive or negative?" "Positive," he finally managed to say. The word came out like a croak. Silence from the other side of the door. Then, "Oh my God." Kurt didn't know if that was good "oh my God" or bad "oh my God." His mind was racing through every possible scenario, every possible future, and none of them felt real. The door opened. Courtney came in, still wearing the Nirvana t-shirt she'd slept in, her blonde hair messy around her face. She looked at Kurt sitting on the floor, looked at the pregnancy test, and her expression went through about 5 different emotions in 3 seconds. "We're pregnant," she said. Not a question, a statement of fact. "Yeah," Kurt said. Courtney slid down the wall and sat on the floor next to him. For a long moment, neither of them said anything. They just sat there on the cold bathroom floor, shoulders touching, staring at the pregnancy test like it was an alien artifact. "Are you?" Kurt started, then stopped. "How do you feel about this?" Courtney let out a laugh that didn't sound happy or sad, just shocked. "I don't know. I don't fucking know. Ask me in 5 minutes and I'll probably have a different answer." Kurt understood that completely. His own feelings were changing every 30 seconds. Terror, joy, panic, wonder, more panic, a weird kind of excitement, then back to terror. "I'm 24 years old," Kurt said quietly. "I can barely take care of myself. How am I supposed to take care of a kid?" "You're 24 and you're the biggest rock star in the world," Courtney pointed out. "You just sold 3 million records. You can hire people to help." "That's not what I mean." Kurt put his head in his hands. "Money doesn't... I don't know how to be a dad. My parents got divorced when I was 9. My dad was never really there even before that. I don't have a model for this. I don't know what I'm supposed to do." Courtney was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "My mom put me in a mental institution when I was 14 because I was too much trouble. I've been on my own since I was 16. I don't know how to be a mom either. So I guess we're both fucked." There was something about the way she said it, so blunt, so honest, that made Kurt laugh despite everything. It came out as a kind of hysterical giggle, and then Courtney was laughing too, and suddenly they were both sitting on the bathroom floor, laughing like lunatics while holding a positive pregnancy test. "This is insane," Kurt said when he could breathe again. "Completely fucking insane," Courtney agreed. The laughter faded. Reality settled back in. Kurt looked at the pregnancy test again, at those 2 pink lines that meant his life was about to change in ways he couldn't even begin to understand. "What do you want to do?" he asked carefully. Courtney turned to look at him. Her eyes were serious now. "What do you mean?" "I mean..." Kurt chose his words carefully. "Do you want to keep it?" He didn't know what answer he wanted to hear. Part of him wanted her to say no, to say they should wait, they weren't ready. But another part of him, a part he didn't fully understand yet, wanted her to say yes. "Do you want to keep it?" Courtney asked back. "I asked you first." "That's not how this works, Kurt. This isn't a game. This is our actual lives." Kurt leaned his head back against the bathtub. The ceiling was white and boring and didn't have any answers. "I'm terrified." "Me too." But I think, Kurt paused, trying to find the right words. I think maybe I want to keep it. I don't know why. It doesn't make logical sense. Our lives are completely chaotic. We've been together for 4 months. We barely know how to be in a relationship, let alone raise a kid. But when I think about not doing it, I feel empty, Courtney finished. Like you'd be walking away from something important. Yeah, Kurt said, relieved that she understood. Exactly that. Courtney took the pregnancy test from his hand and looked at it again. I've had abortions before, 2 of them. And I don't regret them because I wasn't ready. And the guys were assholes and it wasn't the right time. But this feels different. I can't explain why. Because it's ours, Kurt said quietly. Because it's ours, Courtney repeated. They sat there in silence for a while longer. Kurt's mind was still racing, but it was starting to organize itself into something like coherent thought. If they were going to do this, really do this, there were things they needed to figure out. We can't tell anyone yet, Kurt said. Not until you're further along. Agreed, Courtney said. And we definitely can't tell the press. Can you imagine the headlines? Kurt winced. The media attention on their relationship had already been intense. A pregnancy would be a feeding frenzy. We need to get clean, Kurt said suddenly. Courtney looked at him. What? If we're doing this, if we're really having a kid, we need to get clean. No more heroin. No more anything. We can't bring a baby into the world while we're using. Courtney's face went pale. Kurt, that's not easy. I know it's not easy, but we have to. For the baby. I've tried to quit before. It didn't work. Then we'll try again. We'll do it together. We'll get help. Whatever it takes. Kurt took her hand. Courtney, I'm serious about this. If we're going to be parents, we have to be better than we are right now. We have to be people who can take care of someone else. Courtney's eyes were filling with tears. What if we can't? What if we try and we fail and we fuck everything up? Then we'll try again, and we'll keep trying until we get it right. Kurt wiped a tear off her cheek. I know I'm scared. I know you're scared. But we can do this. We have to do this. You really think we can? I have to believe we can. Otherwise, what's the point of any of it? Courtney leaned her head on his shoulder. Kurt put his arm around her and pulled her close. They sat like that for a long time, on the cold bathroom floor, holding each other and trying to imagine a future that suddenly looked completely different from anything they'd planned. We need to tell your mom, Kurt said eventually. Oh God, Courtney groaned. She's going to lose her mind. We need to tell my mom too. Is she going to be happy? Kurt thought about that. I don't know. Probably worried. She'll think I'm too young. But yeah, I think she'll be happy. She's always wanted grandkids. My mom will probably write an essay about how I'm repeating her mistakes, Courtney said bitterly. Then we'll prove her wrong. We'll be better parents than they were. You really believe that? Kurt thought about his own childhood, the divorce, the instability, moving from house to house, feeling like he never really belonged anywhere. He thought about all the things his parents had done wrong, all the ways they'd failed him. I have to believe it, he said. Otherwise I'd be too scared to even try. The sun was starting to come up outside. Light filtered through the bathroom window, turning everything pale gold. Kurt could hear traffic picking up on the street below. The world was waking up, going about its normal day, completely unaware that his entire life had just changed. What are we going to name it? Courtney asked. We don't even know if it's a boy or a girl yet. I know, but humor me. What would you name a boy? Kurt thought about it. Something normal. Something that doesn't sound like a rock star's kid. Something that gives them a chance at normal at least. Kurt, nothing about our kid is going to be normal. Then something that gives them a chance, Kurt said. Courtney smiled a little. And a girl? Francis, Kurt said immediately. After Francis McKee from the Vaselines, and Bean for a middle name. Francis Bean Cobain, Courtney said slowly, testing it out. I like it. It's weird, but not too weird. What would you name a boy? I don't know. Something strong. Something that says this kid isn't going to take shit from anyone. Kurt laughed. With you as a mother, I don't think we have to worry about that. They fell quiet again. The enormity of what they were facing was settling in for real now. This wasn't just an abstract idea anymore. In 9 months, well, less than 9 months now, they were going to have an actual baby, a tiny human being who would depend on them for everything. I'm going to fuck this up, Kurt said quietly. I'm going to be a terrible father. Probably, Courtney agreed. And I'm going to be a terrible mother. We're both going to fuck it up in all kinds of ways. That's not comforting. I'm not trying to be comforting. I'm trying to be realistic. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to do things wrong. But you know what? Our parents made mistakes too, and we survived. Our kid will survive our mistakes. I want to be better than just our kid will survive. Then we'll try to be better. We'll read books. We'll talk to people who know what they're doing. We'll figure it out as we go. Courtney squeezed his hand. But Kurt, we can't expect to be perfect. Perfect doesn't exist. Kurt knew she was right, but it didn't make the fear any less intense. He kept thinking about all the ways this could go wrong. What if he passed on his depression to the kid? What if he couldn't stay clean? What if the pressure of being a father made him crack? Hey, Courtney said like she could read his mind. Stop spiraling. I can see you spiraling. How can I not spiral? This is huge. I know it's huge, but spiraling doesn't help. We take this one step at a time. First, find a doctor. Second, quit using. Third, figure out the rest. Kurt nodded. She was right. He needed to stop thinking about everything that could go wrong and start thinking about what needed to happen next. I have to cancel the tour, he said suddenly. What? No, Kurt, I have to. I can't be on the road for months while you're pregnant. You're Nirvana. You can't just cancel a tour. Yes, I can. The band will understand. My family comes first. Courtney looked at him with something like wonder. You really mean that? Of course I mean it. I thought maybe you'd want to run. I'm not running. I'm scared as hell, but I'm not running. Kurt pulled her closer. We're in this together. Whatever happens. Whatever happens, Courtney repeated. We should probably get up, Courtney said eventually. My ass is numb. Kurt laughed. Yeah, mine too. They stood up, stretching out stiff muscles. Kurt looked at himself in the mirror. He looked the same as he had an hour ago. Messy blonde hair, tired eyes, pale skin. But he felt completely different. He felt like a different person. He was going to be a father. The thought still terrified him, but underneath the terror, there was something else. Something that felt almost like hope. Come on, Courtney said, taking his hand. Let's go back to bed. We can figure out the rest later. They walked back into the bedroom together. The hotel room was quiet. Outside, Los Angeles was waking up. Cars honking, people starting their days, the city coming to life. But in this room, everything was still and peaceful. Kurt lay down and pulled Courtney close. She rested her head on his chest, and he wrapped his arms around her. Through her t-shirt, he could feel her stomach, still flat, still unchanged. But inside, something was growing, something that was half him and half her, something that would change everything. We're going to be okay, Courtney whispered. Yeah, Kurt said, though he wasn't sure if he believed it yet. We're going to be okay. He thought about the future, about sleepless nights and dirty diapers and all the things he didn't know how to do, about teaching someone to walk and talk and play guitar, about trying to be the father he'd never had, about trying to protect this tiny person from all the darkness in the world while knowing he couldn't protect them from everything. But he also thought about tiny hands and first words and the way a child's laugh could make everything else disappear. About having someone who would look at him and see a dad instead of a rock star. About building something real in a world that often felt fake. And as the morning light filled the room and the city buzzed outside their window, they fell asleep like that, two broken people holding on to each other and trying to believe they could build something whole. This is the true story of fear, hope, and the moment when everything changes forever.